Hello and welcome. Jay Fazette here. And we are at another Mastermind to Millions Monday. And today I'm going to share with you something that I keep getting questions about over and over and over again. Now, it comes in different ways. People say it differently. But here's what they're really asking is, if I'm going to start a mastermind, what do I need to be conscious of? What do I need to make sure I do right? So I want to do a couple things today. First and foremost, I want to share with you a couple of the biggest mistakes that coaches and consultants make when launching their masterminds. So we're going to start with that. And I also want to invite you, by the way, to find out more about this in a live training I'm going to be doing shortly. So we're going to count them down in reverse chronological order so that we get this perfectly clear. Now, here is the number 3 issue, problem, mistake, challenge, difficulty, however you want to think about it, that vexes or plagues people who are running masterminds, and it is this: lack of commitment. Now, I want to be very clear about this, is that lack of commitment is the cancer that kills most mastermind groups. And it's quite interesting and challenging and fascinating to me, is that the lack of commitment that people face in the process of masterminds, it starts small. Almost unnoticeably, actually, but it grows and it grows and it grows until suddenly the group implodes, explodes. There is a mutiny on the bounty, and the entire thing goes for you know what. Now, the interesting piece to this is that we teach at least 8 or 9 very specific ways to create, maintain, and recreate commitment in masterminds. And a whole variety of those are going to be taught in this upcoming live training I'm going to do, but I'll give you a couple of hints. Hint number 1 is you must have a contract. You must have a contract. Hint number 2 is this, is that, and this is an interesting one, by the way. Hint number 2 is this, is that you've got to connect the actual attainment of the goals that the person wants, personally, professionally, in every life area, to their participation in the mastermind group. You cannot have them conditioned to think like, oh, the mastermind group is just one more thing that I need to go do. People don't need more stuff to do. They need inspiration. They need support. They need a quantum leap forward. So you've got to figure out how to do that. Yes, we teach a fantastic way. I will actually share it with you in the live training coming up. So that is the number 3 most common reason why masterminds fail. Now, here's the interesting piece of this. And now number 2 is that most of the time when people say, oh, it was lack of commitment, people just weren't committed, they stopped showing up, they weren't bringing their A game, all of those pieces. That's an interesting element. But the reality is this, is that most lack of commitment is actually created by amateur facilitating skills. And that is mistake number 2, is that mastermind leaders don't get the professional training they need to be exceptional small group facilitators. And for whatever reason, they were in a mastermind group and they looked around and was like, oh, this looked pretty simple. And they did the quick math. There's 10 people and it's at $15,000 bucks. I made $150,000 sitting around having a conversation. Hey, I can do that. And the truth of the matter is this: it is 1,000 times more complex than you think. And the truth is, managing a group of people in such a way that we bring them together instead of the natural, friction, resistance, and challenges that happen. And by the way, we give you like 3 different tools. Number 1, evaluate where a particular, because there's this ebb and flow in a mastermind. We give you at least 3 of those tools, which I will share in the live training, to make sure this happens. But I want to be very clear about this. What most people think is a lack of commitment is actually lack of a commitment, or lack of commitment in the group is a symptom of poor or amateur facilitating skills. So here's the truth. If you're going to do a mastermind, you absolutely need to get professional facilitator training. It happens to be one of our wheelhouses. We've been doing it for over a quarter century, and you've mastered that skill, and it applies to everything and everywhere in your life. So that is number 2. Now, here's the cliffhanger. The number 1 reason that coaches and consultants have difficulty launching and maintaining masterminds, I will tell you in our live training. I'm not going to tell you here, but I give you my word. If you understand that one piece, it will be the difference between, I'm going to say, 80 or 90% masterminds, which are a little bit meh, to you leading one of the best masterminds in the world and on the planet. So I want you to join me. I'll share the number 1 reason. I will give you the actual traction and the education around the other 2 so you can begin to apply that to your mastermind and to your life immediately. And I want you to be clear. Avoiding these 3 pitfalls in and of itself is going to make a monumental difference in your life. But the other part I want to let you know about we're going to do, in the live training, I'll help you put some framework together depending upon where you're at and what your level of influence is. Some of you are ready to launch a mastermind like that, and you can take these 3 things and away you go. And some of you actually need longer strategy. And I usually tell people, you know, if you have decent influence in your chosen arena and in your chosen target, if you have good influence, decent influence, you know, 90 days is a nice time frame. Now, here's the hint. We're heading into September. And if you want your mastermind group up and running by 2017, you must get on the live training. We'll lay a foundation, we'll set a plan, we'll share with you what it actually takes. So remember, number 3 is this whole piece of lack of commitment. People stop showing up, people stop bringing their A game. We'll teach you how to create that commitment and recreate that commitment. The next piece is amateur facilitating skills. People think that they can just manage a small group without knowing the dynamics of human beings. And the number 1 reason, which I will share with you in the live training, that one's a game changer. And by the way, we'll also give you a free resource that will solve it completely for you. So those are the reasons why coaches and consultants have difficulties launching masterminds. Join me on the live training and I will solve them all. Take care. Talk soon. Jay Fazette out. Another Mastermind to Millions Monday. Bye.